What's going on, my trainer club? We have an raid extravaganza event coming to Pokemon Go, and what I'm going to do is give you my overviews to help you maximize, and then at a later date we will break down the Lapras raid guide counter and help you get prepped for everything that's coming your way. So welcome to the trainer club. Here we go. If you guys are about raids, you're ready to get some dope raid bosses that maybe you haven't gotten before, or you're looking for good ones still, now is going to be the time to do so, because we have some pretty effective Pokemon coming to the raids external of the legendaries. This is going to be a raid extraordinary event so that we are going to be able to get some awesome raid bosses, and it's going to start on Tuesday, May 21st at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want to know the times for your area, make sure to go to PokemonGoLive.com to get all that information for you. And that's going to go all the way until May 28th. So there's actually 3 events going on here. So we have one, the raid extravaganza for the entire week. And then we have Lapras raid day, which is going to be on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in your local time. And then we also have on Wednesday, the 22nd, is going to be a 1-hour dinner raid time from 6 to 7 p.m. where every gym is going to have a raid on it, including all of these new bosses. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to break down the top tips to help you maximize on what these raid bosses are, because a lot of you guys are newer players, or maybe you still want better IVs of these really powerful Pokemon that are coming out, especially in the tier 4 raid bosses. So I'm going to break down what my top picks are to make sure that you get those guys as far as the raids go, so that you can help your team get more powerful quicker and you can beat those guys easier. So let's get down to the tips and let me know what you think of this event. This is kind of a really cool event where we're seeing a ton of these new raid bosses that are going to be super effective for you guys. So let me know in the comments below. So for this event, we are going to have 2 times XP for raid bosses and then 2 times the stardust for raid bosses. So using that, you can get 2,000. If you put a star piece on, you can get 3,000 stardust per raid. So the one thing you guys have to know, obviously, is that raid passes cost money, obviously. So getting the best raid bosses to bang for your buck is going to be pretty crucial, which I'm going to help you guys. Additionally, the other thing that's going to be released is the shiny Bronzor. So shiny Bronzor is going to be live so that everybody can start getting that, and it's actually also going to be a raid boss. If you're looking to raid for them, make sure to check out the video up here so that you can get the knowledge to help you decide if this raid bosses for the shinies are going to be worth it. I apologize about that last upload. Something happened with the upload process where it screwed up the audio. Didn't see it till this morning because I uploaded it late. So I reposted this video, but I also wanted to address one more thing. We have the raid boxes. So since this is a raid event, raid focused, and they're giving the 5 free raid passes during the Lapras shiny 3-hour window, I would think, and I know I'm going to take a big hit here, if this doesn't happen, that they're going to give us raid boxes with a lot more raid passes. Right now there's 16, so it's about 1 for 1 with the raid passes, that all the items are going to be bonused. Hopefully, as what we've seen in the past, when it's really raid heavy center focused, we see 24 raid passes in the box. So I am going to say, hold off until getting the boxes, because I think that it's going to be more lucrative since the event is strictly raid focused. Like if we've seen Stardust events, you know, the boxes have more star pieces. If we have egg hatch events, the boxes have more incubators in them. So I think that this is going to be a good time to stack up on the raid passes. And as soon as I know, I will let you guys know. I am praying that this is the thing. But think about it like this: if it doesn't happen and they're not as lucrative as I plan, you're still only paying 1 for 1. The only thing is you're not getting the bonus items. So as far as the raid passes go, we're not really losing out too much, but we will lose out on the bonus items. I'm praying that it doesn't happen. I tried to research. I don't see any leaks anywhere about the potential raid passes. So hopefully in the boxes, we will get those. So before I get into all this, we are going to go over the most influential ones. I'm going to give you the counters as well as the 100% IVs to help you maximize on these raid bosses, to make sure that you can beat them, to make sure you're prepared to beat them, and to make sure you know what the 100% IVs are. So getting right into it, we're just going to cover an overview of what all these raid bosses are, and then we'll get into the most influential ones afterwards. So for tier 1, we are going to have Machop, Shinx, Slackoth, and Bronzor. So as far as that goes, if you don't have Slackoth candy and you're looking to get a Slack King, this may be something that you can go ahead and utilize. All these guys are soloable, obviously. For the Bronzor, you can also utilize it as candy. So all these guys are going to have the IV floors of 10. So starting at 10, 10, 10, you can go ahead and utilize these guys. Also, the one thing I'm going to note here is if you don't have a good Machamp, this would be good to go for, as well if you don't have a shiny Machop. this would also be go for to get that shiny Machop from the raids potentially. I don't have one. I don't know if this is what I'm going to use my raid passes for, but I will think about it and let you guys know for sure. However, if you're looking for some of these guys, these are all great Pokemon to get. 3 out of the 4 have shinies externally of the Slackoth. We do not have a shiny Slackoth yet, so that is my view for these guys. And then for tier 2, we're looking at Misdreavus, Kirlia, Mawile, Bibarel, as well as Phoebus and Clamperl. So we have some shinies in there to be able to get. The one thing I'm going to note in this group is that we may be having the Ralt day coming up soon. So if you're looking to get some more Ralt candy, or if you're looking to get a good Kirlia to evolve to see what the potential moves could be for the exclusives for the community day, this may be something that you take up into account. And then for the tier 3, we are looking at Alolan Raichu, we're looking at Floatzel, we're looking at Chansey, and then we're also looking at Scyther and Aerodactyl. So if you're looking for those shinies, those would be good places to check them out at. So if you checked out my shiny chance video, the raid bosses have higher chances of getting shinies in them, meaning there's a better chance to get shiny. So if you didn't get that Scyther, or you're trying to get a good IV shiny or a good IV Scyther in general, this would be a good place to do so, as well as a Blissey. If you're looking for the Blissey, the Chansey would be a good thing to raid for. And then the tier 4 is going to bring the heat. A lot of people's favorites are in here. So we have the Alolan Marowak, which has a shiny potential. We also have Dragonite, we have Tyrantiar, we have Metagross, as well as a shiny potential for an Absol. So 3 of those guys are absolutely off the chain. If you guys don't have good ones, or you're newer players, or you're looking to get more candy, these are the guys you're going to want to do, and potentially pine at those to get that 20 candy. So now we're going to look at the 100% IVs. If you want the entire list, I'm going to pin it in the comments below. So make sure to check out the pinned comments to check out the entire list of the 100% IVs, including the shiny potentials. Also, the other thing I'm going to go over is the counters, as well as what Pokemon to use against these guys if it is necessary. So for raids like tier 1 and tier 2, doesn't really necessarily matter that much. You can literally go in with whatever you want and just smash that Pokemon. Doesn't matter. But when we get into the tier 3, tier 4, kind of matters a little bit. So I'm going to cover the counters and help you guys understand what the best Pokemon to use are when you're fighting against these people, such as Tyranitar, Dragonite, as well as the Metagross. So let's get into it right now. Just to note, because Bronzor's rare and he has the new shiny, we are going to make sure to do these raids if you want that. So the 100% IV for the Bronzor at level 20 is going to be 344, and then boosted under windy conditions or snowy conditions, he is going to be a 430. And I'm not going to cover the counters on these tier 1s because we don't need the counters. You just go in there, beat them, that's all. You can solo it very, very easy. And then if you're looking for a shiny Machop or a good Machop, you can go ahead and do this in the tier 1. So we are looking at a 730 for the 100% IV at level 20, and then boosted under cloudy weather, we are looking at a 913 as the level 25 100% IV. And then of course the Shinx has been around for a while, but the 100% IV at the level 20 for the Shinx is going to be 500. So make sure to do the Shinx if you still want them. They're super cute. That gold shiny is awesome. But now we're going to get into the tier 2 raid bosses to help you guys out there. So still, we are not going to go over the counters here because they are still very easy to beat. We don't need to worry about the counters. Go in, beat them, quick, efficient, it's going to be easy. So getting right into it, we have a Phoebus. The first thing is going to be, it has a shiny potential, and it is going to be pretty easy to beat. So the 100% IV for the Phoebus at level 20 is going to be 157, and then under rainy conditions it's going to be boosted to level 25 at 196. So you can look out for those 2 potential 100% IVs. And then if you're looking for a Mawile, the shiny potential is there, so you can get the Mawile 100% IV. Level 20 is going to be 934, and then boosted it is going to be an 1167. So that can be boosted under snow as well as the clouds. And so Mawile, super cool, not very effective Pokemon, but the shiny is super cool. If you want it, go ahead and fight these guys. He's going to be pretty easy to take down as well. With the top counters being, just to get you guys out there and help you guys out, we are looking at Groudon as well as Moltres. Those guys are going to be great. You can also use the Blaziken with the Blast Burn as well, but Moltres being that #1 fire attacker, I would go ahead and utilize him to melt this steel. And then we're looking for Kirlia. So we have a weakness to poison, steel, and ghost. So What you may want to use here is the Giratina or the Gengars to go ahead and get at the Kirlia. So looking at the 100% IVs, under normal conditions, we are looking at a 552 for level 20. And then boosted under wind or cloudy conditions, at level 25, he is going to be at a 690. And the next thing we're going to look at is the Aerodactyl. If you're looking for that shiny Aerodactyl, this may be the Pokemon to get. So he's got a bunch of weaknesses, and some of them are going to be, we're looking at water, steel, rock, ice, and electric. So there's a bunch of Pokemon that you can use in there. You could use something like a Mamoswine, you could use a Kyogre, you could also use a Raikou or a Zapdos. So you can use these guys to take them down pretty efficiently. So under normal conditions, meaning at level 20 non-boosted, he is going to be a 100% IV at 1590. And then under boosted conditions, partly cloudy or windy, level 25, he is going to be a 1988. Next, we're going to check out two more Pokemon. So we want to check out number one being the Scyther, super easy to take down. And then we're also going to check out the Chansey, just because Blissey is a pretty beast gym defender. A lot of people are in need of Chansey candy. So if you want to do this Chansey, go ahead and do that. So checking out the Scyther first, Scyther has a double weakness to rock. So you're going to want to use like a Rampardos or a Smackdown T-Tar combination with Stone Edge. You can also use Golem with double rock moves as well. So utilize those guys. So looking at the 100% IVs, under normal conditions, he is going to be a 1546 at level 20 100% IV. And then boosted in either the wind or the rain, his 100% IV at level 25 is going to be 1933. So check this guy out if you want that Scizor, or if you're just looking for the shiny Scyther. I may be going after this raid boss because I'm looking for the shiny Scyther. I also want that shiny Machop, and if I got either of those guys, pretty good IVs, I would definitely consider powering them up. And then looking at the Chansey, there is only one weakness. So if you have Machamps, or you have Hariyamas, or you have some other fighting type Pokemon, this is going to be where you want to use it with the reigning supreme champion of Machamp. I'm not 100% sure that you can solo this just because of how much health Chansey has. I would think that you could with a lot of maxed out Machamps. I would suggest, if you don't have that, going in with a party size of at least 2 with a bunch of pretty powered up fighting Pokemon. The 100% IV at level 20 is going to be 717, and then boosted under partly cloudy conditions, we are going to look at level 25 at 896. Now getting into those tier 4, we have the pseudo legendaries, meaning that they are like legendaries, but they're not legendary Pokemon. These guys are going to be beasts. You absolutely want to do them. We are looking at the Tyrantiar, the Dragonite, and the Metagross if you don't have good ones. So getting right into it, we are looking at the Tyrantiar. Oh, you're good. It's my fault for being in a public place. I just like the scenery. So looking at the Tyrantiar weaknesses, you can use a bunch of different weaknesses against him. However, he's double weak to fighting. With that said, I would suggest using fighting moves, guys. So looking at the Machamp again, this is where the Machamp comes up huge. Anytime there's fighting, this Machamp delivers so much high DPS, TDO, everything else in between. This is the guy you want to use. That's why I have a bunch of pretty powered up Machamps ready to go. So if you want to use any of the other Pokemon, you can use Water, Grass, Ground, Steel, Fairy, or Bug Pokemon against the Tyrantiar, but no, they only have single weaknesses, so they're not going to take them down as fast. I would suggest a party size of 3. If you have really powered up Machamps and you're good friends, maybe 2. I would suggest staying at that party size of 2 or up. Honestly, I would suggest 3 or 4 to be safe, just because I don't know where your guys' levels are at. But if you really want to challenge yourselves, you can use the best friend bonus with the cloudy weather Machamps to definitely duo him. So under normal conditions, you can get a 100% IV level 20 at 2191. Or under fog or partly cloudy conditions, he can be boosted to level 25 for 100% IV at 2739. And then we might as well check out the Absol because it has a shiny potential. His weaknesses are going to be fighting, fairy, or bug. So boom, we have the Machamps coming out again. You can use them again. They're all single weaknesses. So the 100% IV at level 20 under regular conditions is going to be 1443. And then if you get fog, he can be boosted at level 25 to 1805. And then we can look at the Metagross. Metagross is a beast. I don't believe he's gonna have the Meteor Mash moveset, but he's still a beast Pokemon if you need candy for him or you want candy. I know we've already had the community day, but some people may have missed it, or some people are still looking for this beast. With that said, his weaknesses are going to be ground, ghost, fire, and dark. What I would suggest using is something like a Moltres because it's super high DPS. You can also use the Groudon. These are really, really powerful Pokemon. Their overall potential is super high. That's why I suggest using Pokemon like that. So under normal conditions, no boost, we are looking at a 20 100% IV at 2166. And then boosted under windy conditions or snowy conditions, we are looking at a level 25 100% IV potential at 2708. And then the fan favorite, that is a dope Pokemon, super effective as dragons, we are looking at the Dragonite. So Dragonite is going to have a double weakness to ice. Need I say more? Mamoswine is going to be the Pokemon because ice is going to be effective against dragons as well as flying Pokemon. So him being both of those types, you're going to wreck with the Mamoswine. But if you want to use some other Pokemon, the other weaknesses that he has are going to be Rock, Fairy, and Dragon. So you can use other dragons, but the most effective is going to be the ice Pokemon whenever you have that dragon flying combination. For level 20, 100% IV, we're looking at 2167. And then boosted under only windy conditions, because both of the dragon as well as the flying are boosted under wind, we're looking at a 100% IV at 2709. So I know I did leave both of the Alolans off on this guide, but if you want them, definitely check the pinned comments out. We've already been fighting them quite frequently, so we already know the 100% IVs. We're familiar with them. They're not new raid bosses. I wanted to cover specifically the new raid bosses that are going on. We also have the two other events that are coming out. We have the raid 1 hour dinner event window, which means that every raid that is not EX active is going to have a raid on it, which could be a combination of all of these, as far as we know right now. They're not saying that it's anything new or exclusive or out there. It's going to be potentially all of these Pokemon. So they could be everywhere for an hour on Wednesday, May 22nd from 6 to 7 p.m. local time for you. So if you're looking to do a bunch of raids, you want the boosted XP and the Stardust, definitely use your eggs, your star pieces, and do this for an hour. You will not be sorry. You're gonna get a bunch of Pokemon. And the best thing about it is you have a mixed bag of really cool new Pokemon. I would suggest the tier 4s as the focus, but if you want shinies and they're on the way, you can also do that. The one thing you do have to take into account is that you only have an hour. So taking that 2-minute raid countdown time, as well as beating it and catching it, you have to siphon and really prioritize which ones you are going to go for. And then my favorite part of all, we are looking at the Lapras raid day, which essentially is a 3-hour raid window, which is going to be 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, May 25th. In your local time zone. So whatever it is, 11 to 2 for you. And the best part about it is we can get the potential shiny Lapras in here. So for everybody that didn't have a fair shot at getting that shiny Lapras, this is the time to do it, and it could be a good IV. So this is going to be a win-win-win. I am going to beast out on this day. I love Lapras. I need that shiny Lapras. Not even a want, I need it. And the other cool thing is we can get the Ice Shard, Ice Beam, Legacy movesets from this raid day. So this is an absolute must-have because Lapras with Ice Shard, Ice Beam as a gym defender is a beast compared to the other Laprases, because that Ice Shard, super effective. It really gets you down. So as the week goes on, I'm gonna pump out a Lapras raid counter day video to help you maximize on the tips to get your party set up, as well as the 100% IV. So I just wanted to touch on it here before we get into it. But the one things that I would recommend is if you're looking for XP, definitely use your eggs when you're out there, because you have 2 times raid XP as well as the Stardust. And then obviously you want to focus on the really good Pokemon such as the Tyrantiar, the Metagross. You can have the Dragonite, super effective. Those guys are definitely powerful Pokemon that you want to have good IVs to power up. The other things I will note is just check out the raid bosses for the candy, and then you're also going to want to get out the 100% IVs and look out for the shiny Pokemon that are in the raids and utilize those guys. So this is definitely a raid focused event, and the cost to entry is going to be there to be able to play more often. So take that into account. Find the guys you want, know what shinies you want, check out my videos to make sure you know what kind of shiny odds you're going for, but more importantly, listen to your intuition. If you're like, I have a great feeling about doing this machop, go for it. That might be your shiny. Listen to your inner guidance to help you maximize out on this event. So thank you for tuning into the Trainer Club, guys. I will see you out there on that next video.